I'll talk metaphysically about what I think about all of this left and right stuff. I think metaphysically it's the right and the left is blue and red, and the blue-red is yin-yang, man. We're caught in the metaphysical aspect of politics, and we're so involved that we can't disconnect and see it for what it is. It's masculine and feminine attributes, and there's also positive and negative in both. You can't say, it's just like the yin yang. You can't say that something's all right or all wrong or all good or all bad. That's just something that comes with learning. It comes with age, comes with maturity, and it also comes with learning metaphysical, spiritual things. You know, when you're dealing with the Republicans, you're dealing with masculine energy. And when you're dealing with the left, Democrats, you're dealing with feminine energy. It can get complicated in the sense that it's all embedded in history and politics and all that stuff. But ultimately, when you look at the views of you're dealing with metaphysics. My sister and I talk about this. This helps you so that you're not so politically charged, man. It's like people like drive themselves crazy with this. It's just like, dude, the unification process is a lot more important than the division. And when you're dealing with politics, you have to know from the beginning, like, what the the Western world built a lot of its structure around what the Romans did. So just give them the circus, give them sports, and give them the illusion of choice, all that stuff. You can't get so wrapped up in it that you have no sense of history, man. You know, and ultimately all of these things there's cures and solutions to things if you look at it through the perspective of unification. If you're going to look at things through the lens of hatred or division, then you just get more of that. You can't fall prey to that, because that division is basically what keeps that frequency so low. Like, there's solutions to everything. But if you're going to be like an extreme left or extreme right, which I never happen, I've always been right in the middle, pro on some, it's just like case by case, year by year, things change. And when I was in high school and stuff, I thought, oh, wouldn't it be cool to do like a Capu communism, Capu social, commune social. That is like bringing all three forms of government into one. And that's kind of what it is, Yes, there's things in society that need help. There's things in our environment that need help. But first and foremost, I think in order to have a proper vehicle, a proper mind, is understanding that these two polarities, positive and negative, feminine, masculine, are all they're all, you know, embedded in our culture. We don't know what an empowered, empathic, feminine-based energy looks like, because it's all been very suppressed and perverted by a male-dominated society and religion. I really honestly doubt that the head of the religious structures in like heaven are male. You know, women give birth on the planet. That pretty much makes them God, you know. I think the universe is feminine, and that doesn't mean that I'm a feminist. And I believe in a lot of conservative views. I believe that we need to preserve children and preserve morals. And I do believe that, you know, that we need to really take care of, like, just like all the horror movies that come out, man. Like, enough is enough, you know. There's got to be a point where you bring enlightenment to society through the arts. And of course the arts are going to get perverted, of course, by people that, you know, have an agenda. So I believe in being a free agent as an artist. So that means I'm not left or right, man. But that's also, I study internal martial arts, I study meditation, and I study what the dark feminine looks like and what the dark masculine looks like. And they're both heinous, dude. And the light beatific feminine is also beautiful, and the light beatific man is also beautiful. We all have a little bit of both. And so division is obviously destructive. So we can't go around, like, you know, like killing each other for a loaf of bread, like what was going on in COVID, fighting for toilet paper. You're just like, dude, seriously, it's not good, man. Division on that level is not good. So, you know, you take these elections seriously, but you don't let them destroy your peace of mind and peace of mind of people around you. You know, staying ethical and responsible and respectful is really important. And that's, you know, I didn't want to talk about this really. It just came out because of the election just came. It's just staying honorable, ethical, balanced, and the balance of the yin and the yang, the balance of the red and the blue, the balance of feminine and masculine energies within yourself and also within a country. And I know there's a lot of women that I've known through the years that are artists, and they're all pissed off. You know, one of the things that I think we need to do in the future, and this is controversial, and it's probably inevitable with all this AI medicine coming out and stuff, is there is the abortion laws it's so heavy, it's just, the whole thing is just wrong, especially if it's all backed by a lot of like Christian kind of stuff. I do believe in preserving life. I do believe that we should not hurt any human beings, even in the body. But I do believe that you can't control a woman's body. You know, that's her body. So there is a lot of controversy around that, of course. And one of the ways that could be a possible solution is growing children through incubation process through medical AI. So the child that is in the womb would just be taken out and put into an incubation kind of AI machine, and it wouldn't be killed. Now, then, of course, the controversy of having a machine raise your child, blah, 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 blah. But all these things are already in the works. They're already going to happen. It's just one, trading one evil for another. You can't force a woman to have a child that she doesn't want to do. Like, that's, you're going to end up with, like, really bad back alley clinics, the way that it was in, the 1800s, early 1900s. And you also can't just throw life away, like, oh my God, I'm pregnant, give me a pill, you have to be responsible. And I think when you're dealing with the up and coming AI stuff, we're going to be dealing with less with abortion and less with that stuff, because we're going to start preserving life. That's the way it should be, and that's one of the things we're learning. Humanity isn't perfect. Humans aren't perfect, but hopefully we'll be using these kind of technologies to help the planet and help people, and then cure us of our failing, political, mental, and emotional and spiritual crisis. But a lot of that, if you're integrating meditation and metaphysics and integrating these energies into yourself, you won't be afraid of your dark feminine. You won't be afraid of your dark masculine. Enlightenment is kind of like that caduceus. You have both. We have both inside of us. So then at that point, you're just like, whatever, man. You do your stuff, but you don't let the tension and the anxiety of a society gone mad ruin your day, ruin your life, ruin your, elections are elections. It's going to go left and right. It's going to go yin and yang. It's going to go masculine, feminine, all stuff. With that said, I do think that women are going to end up running the planet in the end. It's just, they're going to, because women are less apt to go to war, and war is really stupid. Obviously, people know this. The war machine is going to come to an end. It's completely opposite of what people think. It's like they're going to bring out like their antichrist, all that stuff, because they have to, it's like prophesize what they have to make their the prophecy real. So they want to do it so bad. They're creating it. And so the powers that be are like, well, let's give it to them. Give them the circus. I think Christ is coming from within. The second coming is coming from within, dude. It's not coming from no one's coming to save us. We have to save ourselves, spiritually speaking. And part of that is awakening to your, to your yin-yang energies, to your divine masculine energy. And pretty much probably that's what the alien worlds have done. Alien planets, they're probably run by women, and women are probably have a different role in these governments, these space governments and stuff. But right now we're dealing with a lot of misogyny a lot of chauvinism, a lot of anger, and a lot of war, and also all that's masculine energy. And then like all of this like transgender kind of like lesbian, homosexuality, arts, you know, like fusion, just everyone get together and love each other. That's the dark feminine. The dark masculine is separation, separate, divide, and conquer, and kill, and cheat, and steal, and, you know, a lot of aggression. So those once you resolve your darkness inside of you, you will resolve some of those things in the world. Each person has to do the work, and at that point you become you can start to become an enlightened human being. That is, you're taking responsibility for your dark feminine or your dark masculine. And then doing that work, well, you know, it's difficult for everybody. Everyone's going through it. And it's not like we're going to be like moving into the Aquarian age like anytime soon, as far as like we still have to birth this new age, clean energy. So like Greer says, we are like midwives to this new rebirthing, this new process. The aliens are like, dude, stay away from that planet, man. When you get to Earth, go left. Stay away. Our civilization is like still considered like a number, like not even a 1. And there's like all of these dimensional beings and all of these things that are happening, these worlds that are like way, way advanced. And we don't know what's really fully going on, but you know, when you start seeing ships in the sky and UFOs, you're like, you kind of get a clue, man. Which is why they kept it silent for so long. Because if there's one alien species, dude, there's hundreds of millions. Hundreds of millions of different alien species. That's people are like, dude, I'm not ready for this. I wasn't either. I'm like, all I wanted was a green tea latte, and instead I got an awakening, you know? So, and there's a lot of people that are going through it. They're just like, it's all awakening the inner kundalini within your body, the inner masculine and the inner feminine, the divine masculine, divine feminine. And all those dark parts of ourselves are like, they're falling away. Everything's moving towards God. It's not moving towards the New World Order. They think that it is. They think that it's moving towards the New World Order and to the Antichrist. That's dark masculine. That's falling away. Yeah. It has its process. It's still working itself out. And that's why the light masculine is trying to, you know, is in control. Because it's trying to compensate for this darkness on both sides. And I think it's fascinating. When you resolve those things inside of yourself, it resolves outside of yourself. The thing about the environmental stuff, that really amps me up, because yeah, that's our planet, and those are animals, and we're not the only species here, but we act like we are. We're so entitled, you know. And that's the part where it's like, when you're dealing with the electromagnetic energy and the magnetosphere failing, yeah, that's what happened to Mars, man. Mars lost its magnetosphere. Ancient books talk about it. Ancient stories talk about this. So, don't think that it can't happen to Earth. you know, and the earth people. Our magnetosphere can fail anytime. And when the magnetosphere fails around a human being, they don't have enough magnetism and they haven't developed their biofield, they're not going to have a good time, man. They're not going to, they're not going to be able to survive. That's what all these New Agers are like trying to do. All these star seeds and stuff. They're trying to raise the consciousness of their body and to raise the consciousness of the earth. Now, I am a starseed, I think, but I got pummeled. I got pummeled. And part of that process was I had to resolve my dark masculine and my dark feminine. I have to. In order to transcend this stuff, because we're moving into into this higher frequency where lower vibrations, they just can't coexist with the new vibration of what's going on with the planet. It's a frequency consciousness shift. And that's why all the ships are coming back. It's the return of what the Indians said, the star people. It's the return of the star people. And they're not necessarily here to save us. They're just coming back. And some of them have been here the entire time. We just can't wrap our head around the fact that we're not the only species. We're afraid. People are afraid. Our governments are afraid. But it's more important, I think, to just realize we're not alone. And just really bring that like home, you know. That way you're not caught in the matrix of stupidity. And people can't put you in their matrix of stupidity because of fear. Fear and envy, man, those are the two things they destroy things. So that I learned that the hard way too. Once you start to dive into these ancient ways, we're going to realize that this is, you know, there's ways to protect the planets, like the negative ion, earth acupuncture. You know, obelisks are found like everywhere. There's a reason for those obelisks, and it's not what we think it is, in the sense that they're terraforming. Terraforming is probably like the most ancient art ever. Terraforming planets. I mean, why reinvent, you know, something? If we have a failing magnetosphere, you know. And the thing with the oceans, that drives me crazy too, because people don't understand that if the ocean is too young, if there's too many positive ions, it heats up, and that heat kills off that temperature shift kills off the corals and breeds bacterial infections and fungal infections and viral infections. And so what's happening with the ocean is the alkaline activities are too great. I'm sorry, that the acid activities are too great, and we need to create more of an alkaline situation. Same thing with our bodies. This bacteria is somebody, like, a couple people died of like eating a hamburger from McDonald's. The cows are eating grain. The grain-fed cows have sugar. Grain turns into sugar, which feeds the bacteria in all these E. coli, and all these bacteria, and all these viruses, funguses, and stuff. And then we eat that, and then we get their disease. So this is affecting not only the land animals and the water animals, it's affecting us, because if we don't get a grip on this, we will not survive. And that's pretty much what it is. And understanding it on Einsteinian level is pretty simple. It's just that positive ions can create too much inflammation in the body, and negative ions can reduce inflammation. Positive ions creates heat, which is a masculine. Negative ions creates a cooling, which is a feminine. And these are the reasons why feminine energy is going to cure the planet. And in the end, it's not going to be what we think. Women are going to rise up in a smarter way. They're not going to do it they're not going to rise up in a masculine way. They're going to rise up in a feminine way. But they're not going to, the women that are like dark yin, dark women, I mean, they haven't resolved their femininity. They're not going to be able to do it. They're going to have too much fear. You can't be afraid of the masculine, man, and you can't be afraid of the feminine, the dark feminine, the dark masculine yourself. You gotta cure that shit, dude. Like, deep. Do the work. And one thing that I learned with internal martial arts is when you're working your dark side, your dark feminine or your dark masculine, your yin and your yang, you're not only like working the two energies to be a strong martial artist, you're working your trauma. You're working the trauma around your mother, you're working the trauma around your father. You're working these two energies out so that the body and its toroidal field are one. You're creating that supple energy. Like I said, women are going to be the ones that take over and rule. But the dark aspect of woman will never be able to do it. And so there's a lot of women that they crave that power, but they don't have the ability to undo their dark feminine. They haven't released the anger, so they can't have the power. The ones that are the star seeds that are going to transform, they're not going to be dark masculine, they're not going to be dark feminine. It's harder for women because women in the end will be more powerful, so they're tested differently than men. You can't abuse your power. And the environmental crisis is pretty bad. We're at a point where these feminine-based Einsteinian sciences are on the rise. The Newtonian chemical-based physics, come on, it's such a joke. It's over. It's like, the gases inside the universe. Like, no, not gases. You mean magnetism? The universe is yin, man. It's dark yin. It's not dark matter. The men are afraid of it. That's why they suppress it. It's like, there's no such thing as dark matter, man. It's yin energy. It's negative ions. That's hydrogen. The way that we perceive it, the way we understand it. We don't understand negative H hydrogen. Even in medical school, when I'm going through all this stuff with anatomy and stuff, that's I'm like, where's the negative ions, dude? Anion is the closest thing, and still they don't know what the anions do. They know that atoms have positive and negative electrons, but they don't know why the covalent bonds, they don't know why the cells in the body are stealing the electrons, and then they don't know how to replace the negative ions. They do it through food. The hippies and stuff, they do it through food, ozone therapy, oxygen, swimming near oceans, waters, and lakes and stuff like that. That's interesting, right? That was like a breakthrough for me when I realized, like, okay, what does that mean? The body is negative ion deprived. Think about that. That's crazy. The body is negative ion deprived. So our Western way, like our Western medicine, we don't include negative hydrogen or anions very much. But positive ions we do. We understand the hell out of that. It's partially because it's run havoc on our bodies. The body is too acidic, like I said with the cows. Sugar basically creates, a cascade of problems in the body. And the sugar comes from the grains and all that stuff. There's a lot of, the keto diet and the bulletproof diet and a lot of other diets are talking about these things. And, you want to create an alkaline effect in the body. It's hard with so much sugar and all of the world. Yeah, the book that I read with, what's his name? Stephen Hawking. He's like, bacteria have a right to live, dude. Just like viruses and just because they're living inside of our body as a host doesn't mean they don't have the right to live. So there's like an understanding, some of them are good guys, some of them are bad guys. It's like Star Wars in our bodies. Good probiotics, bad bugs, good bugs, right? The yin factor, man. The yin factor as a light factor, as a probiotic. It's like you take that probiotic in your life with the approach of politics. But it has to be light feminine. The dark feminine's gonna lose every time. Too greedy for hunger and too much fear. Too greedy for money and too much fear. Too much lies, deceptions. The dark feminine is nasty, man. Gotta lighten that shit up. Gotta work on yourself. Remove the stain of fear. Remove the stain of shame. Remove the stain of using men for money or power, and then remove the stain for talking shit about your sisters. That stuff's bad. You have to uplift women. The dark feminine principle wants to be queen. You have to remove that. More power. And it's the same thing with men. Ultimate power is ultimate bad stuff. So this balance of the yin yang and this working of the darkness within ourselves will also help our planet. Because if there's too much yang energy in our electromagnetic field that is creating acidic nature in the bodies of animals that we eat, of fish, and of the forests and the oceans, this yang energy is reflecting the overbearing yang energy of men. It's like, I am man, hear me roar, I have 12 wives and 36 children, like, fuck off, dude. That's not the way that you honor a feminine spirit. And so that's all ego and power and look how virile I am. That's run rampant. And because they don't know how to honor the feminine within themselves. A male that has really worked on their inner feminine, they don't mistreat women. And I've noticed a lot of that, like from the 90s to now. They've actually taken a lot of feminine-based art and stuff out of like museums and books and stuff. One of the reasons why I became a publisher, I was just like, shit, I have a voice. I was born for a reason, and my purpose, my voice is work through your dark masculine and work through your dark feminine, and come to that place of enlightenment. Because like I said, they're going to try to bring all that new world order shit. They're going to try to do all this stuff. They're going to try to bring the Antichrist. Like, whatever, man. It's not going to fly. Eventually, the light feminine spirit will just decimate that. Because we are part of a galactic, planetary race of human beings, intergalactic family that we're coming to meet. And we don't want to look bad, man. We already screwed it up so many times. You can't cover this shit up. It's over. And that's one of the things that we're all coming to realize is intergalactic extraterrestrial family. Really? That's gonna That's such a trippy thing to think about. But it's true. And all the politics that we're going through right now, you know, we're going to have that blue little Krishna boy that, you know, everyone is going to be going to school and everyone's going to be like, he's not allowed to go to school because he's blue. Just get right with your inner masculine, inner feminine, and work those two dark energies so you don't get triggered by the external left or the external right. And then when you remove the stain of fear, yeah, that's, what do they say? Roosevelt? The only thing to fear is fear itself. So I thought, yeah, that's a really good one. I think that's one of the books I read. But it's a famous quote. The only thing to fear is fear itself. Okay, flag of the day. Adios.